Oh, oh, someone's just climbed into pits. Sorry, I got that all wrong. So trying to see which rider it is that has come into the pits. Not too sure. We'll wait and see on the timing monitor whose name all of a sudden starts dropping down. Mick Landy still came across the line. David Buckham's now got ahead of Mick Landy. Momo Harpe is right on the back of both of them. So just going to tell our director if they can shoot back to the battle for 6th, 7th and 8th place, Park 47, 72 and 83. That's a really good little battle going on there. Try and see if we can watch that. They should be coming, number 47, David Buckham on a plain red motorbike. They should be coming out of turn number 4, somewhere around there by now, onto that little back straight potentially. But that's a really good little battle going on there, but between them, those three riders. So just hang this shot for a while, and I'll tell you, that is our leading three riders. And let's just wait just behind them, coming up the back straight now. That is Portman out front, still getting the job done. Tommy Brown will be in 2nd place. 3rd place, and actually Alan Holscher's up into 2nd place. Tommy Brown then clearly suffering maybe with that knee injury that he went in for surgery. If we just hold the shot that we've got now, I'll wait for the next rider to come. Will be Chris Williams. We let him go through. That's not him. Then it'll be Christo Reeders. We let him go through. So let him go through the next battle that's going to come there. Let's try and focus on there. There is, looks like Buckham potentially. There is Mick Landy, and there is Momo Harpe. So those two riders there, looks like there's a good little battle. That's Mick Landy and that's Momo Harpe. That's a brilliant shot. So that's exactly what I wanted to see. David Buckham ahead of them has pulled away. So he is not hanging around. David Buckham, he 206.2 last lap around. He was almost a second and a half faster than Mick Landy, and Momo Harpe was faster than both of them. So the lady rider on her Ducati South Africa sponsored machine is starting to make inroads onto the back of Mick Landy and David Buckham. And I can tell you right now that if she manages to get ahead of Mick Landy and Buckham, they will not be very impressed with that. I could tell you, this lady came into the Battle of the Twins in the final race of last year, raised huge eyebrows then, and she's doing it once again here now in the first round of this 2020 Monaco Series and the Battle of the Twins class. Portman crosses the line, 201.2, managing his lead at the front, still running about 1.3 seconds faster than Alan Holscher. Going into turn 1 now is that battle between David Buckham, Mick Landy and Momo Harpe. So they'll be coming out of turn 1, heading into turn 2. Let's start to watch there. 207.6 for Maharpe, 207.8 for Landy, 207.2 for David Buckham. So nothing between those three riders. Peter Bosch, the recovering Peter Bosch. There is David Buckham, there is Mick Landy, and there is Momo Harpe. So well done to our director for picking that up. That is the battle, I think, on the track at the moment that we're going to have to watch out. Look at Momo Harpe closing on the back of Mick Landy. She really, and that is a bog stock standard Ducati Panigale V4 road bike. That's still got headlights and everything on that machine. And she's closing down on Mick Landy ahead of her, who's got a couple of years under his belt now in the Battle of the Twins class and on that V4 machine. And that is almost a World Superbike spec bike. You can see how it just pulls away there, but watch Momo Harpe on the brakes. She closes going into the 90-degree left-hander. So she can sniff blood in the water here now, can the lady rider. There's David Buckham just ahead of them. Looks like one of the riders potentially slowing up just ahead or with some kind of problems. But they certainly are closing on potentially Christo Reeders ahead of them as well. Mick Landy, if he could get a pit board telling him that it's Momo Harpe, that irritating sound that he could hear behind him, he'll probably break the lap record, which is held by Clint Seller at a 50.3, because he does not want to be beaten by the lady rider that's just stepped into this championship basically. And he's a seasoned, established campaigner. So he's trying to close down on his good mate David Buckham just ahead of him. Remember, it's the two of those men along with the rest of the bots riders that are pretty much all behind this Monaco series. So onto the back straight. There's David Buckham. There is Mick Landy, and there is Momo Harpe. So it's a seesaw effect going on here. You can see Mick Landy has just pulled away in the final part of that track. Looks like the first part of this track is where Momo Harpe is able to close. But look how much Mick Landy has closed on David Buckham, who maybe has just switched off ever so slightly, allowing those riders to close in. It's only an 8-lap race, but it is so tough for these inverted commas elder statesmen on the move, looking to make a move into turn 1 was Mick Landy, and you could see Buckham 207.3, Mick Landy at 206 dead, and a 206.6 there for Momo Harpe. So changing it up quite a lot there. Is it work? Yeah, it is working. This one's not working. There we go. The track mark just stops working as we look at this battle. Mick Landy, has he got himself ahead now of David Buckham. Yes, he has Momo Hoppe still right on their tail. So Buckham may be suffering with a little bit of fatigue maybe. Something, like I said, track conditions out there. Grip is not at the greatest level we've ever seen. So those bikes will be starting to slip and slide, especially with the 200 plus horsepower these Ducati Panigale V4s have got at hand on that right wrist. Yeah, David Buckham is certainly starting to slow now, and he's dropped right into the clutches now of Momo Hoppe. And he's lost toe a little bit there with his good mate Mick Landy. So can David Buckham, who had a lap or so ago had a 2-3 second lead over Mick Landy. So it just shows you the seesaw effect that's going on here in this race, with still a couple of laps away. Last lap, so this is last lap time then. So while we've been concentrating on this battle, the laps have just ticked by. Portman is still comfortably out front. He's got a 6.8 second lead. Alan Holscher's got comfortably in second ahead of Thomas Brown. So those three are sorted as Portman comes across the line. Yes, he does. Checkered flag time then for Portman. Double win on his introduction into the Battle of the Twins class. Alan Holscher will hold down second ahead of Thomas Brown. But we're going to try and focus on that battle between David Buckham, Mick Landy and Momo Hoppe. Chris Williams will come across the line in fourth place, with Christo Rearders there in fifth. Who will hold on to that sixth place? Mick Landy's got it at the moment, but as they go down the back straight, let's see as they come across the line. That was Chris Williams that came across the line. Potential rider of the day candidate, there's no doubt about that. We wait and see now down the back straight. 204.6 on his final lap, Christo Rearders. So that's really impressive. So Momo Hoppe and then will be coming through the final chicane. It is Mick Landy, 205.9, his fastest lap of the race on the last lap. Just shows you that motivation of knowing that Momo Hoppe was on his arse. That has given him that motivation to get that sixth place ahead of David Buckham in seventh. Momo Hoppe does pick up eighth. So 2 more places gained from race number 1. Peter Bosch will come across the line in 9th. Your early race leader had made that mistake. Kaz Hauser there in 10th place. Paul Carstensen, Rainer Klaasens, Willy van Asweg and Paul Kruger inside the points on the 1290 Super Duke. And Jos Matthijssen on the final lap. Let's see if he can hold on to that final point scoring position there in 15th place. It's quite a long wait until we get him, but let's see if the Ducati South Africa owner can bring it across the line. He'll be really, really happy with that. I could tell you now, drinks will be flying out of that bar tonight if Jos Matthijssen can hold on to that 15th place. In fact, we're all in trouble if Jos Matthijssen can hold on to that 15th place, because he's going to throw alcohol down all of our throats. Let's see, Willy van Asweg and Paul Kruger comes. 15th, we should be seeing Jos Matthijssen come across the line, do we? Yes, we do. So points finished there for Jos Matthijssen. His best points, his best ride actually of his Bots career, which is only two or three races in so far. So he is improving every single lap he goes out on that beautiful Ducati V4 machine. So there we go, we have the mic back. Thank you, Quentin. It's fun. And that going to take us straight into the Masters class coming up next. So all Masters riders, if you could get yourselves ready please, as soon as our Battle of the Twins / V4 riders come into pits, you will be out on track next for your second and final heat of the day. And then followed by that we'll have the Classics F1, Classics F2 and 3 combined after that. Then it's the 600s and 1000cc race. That's the second and final heat of racing for the day. And then after that the HMG, the historic motorcycles, and the Doxa class coming after that, and that'll end the day's racing action. Remember to stick around for prize giving. Always fun and a vibey activities happening down at prize giving, so make sure you stick around for that. And then yeah, just enjoy what has been so far an amazing day's racing action, and help celebrate with all of our winners from the day's racing action. But for now, let's wait until our masters come out. I'm going to have a sip of water and maybe a banana and try and squeeze some more biltong in me. Can't even go to the toilet because I'm not that, my legs are killing me after that first race. But stick around and we'll be back in a couple of minutes time with race 2 of the Masters class. So here we go then, race number 2 of... So race number 2 then of the Masters class. And again, no Brian Montequinnon to challenge Mr. Johnny Cricker out front, but he's got Michael Barth, Lawrence Bodenos, Leon Pretorius, and Sean Peterson to contend with. But it does look like Johnny Cricker on the World of Carbon BMW S1000RR that's got out front. Is it? Yes, it is Mr. Cricker out front. So he'll be looking just to extend that lead. Barth there in second place doing a good job. Then it's Bodenos on the Suzuki. So we've got a BMW, Kawasaki and a Suzuki, our top 3 bikes. So always nice to see that different manufacturers running at the front end of the field. Look out for Sean Peterson as well, Leon Pretorius, Andre Fenter. Been a long day in the saddle for him so far, but he's back out on track and he's running in about 6th or 7th there ahead of Wayne Morgan. Augustine Mtwari is starting to make inroads ahead now of Bert Jonker. Something he wasn't able to do in race number 1. Paul Carstensen, again, a long day in the saddle for him, competed in both Battle of the Twins race and both Masters races. And of course Brian Montequinnon and David Buckham not taking part in the second Masters race. Johnny Cricker, I think this is pretty much a dress rehearsal for what's going to happen throughout the entire race. He's going to just clear off at the front end of this Masters class. We're going to have to look at that battle for second place, Michael Barth and Lawrence Bodenos. I think that's going to be where the dice is going to be. Already they are glued together, and Leon Pretorius not too far behind them either, so that is going to be a good little battle to watch out for. Let's see how they go, but at the moment Bodenos trying to make moves there on Michael Barth, unable to make it stick at the moment. Let's see, it's going to be Kawasaki versus Suzuki as they go down the back straight. for the first time in anger. Down the and across the line in anger for the first time of asking. And it is Johnny Cricker, 202.2 lap time there from him. So that's from a standing start, a really impressive lap time there. Lawrence Bodenhorst there in second place. Michael Barth in third place. So Bodenhorst on the Suzuki has managed to get himself ahead of the Kawasaki rider. Leon Pretorius still putting himself right in the mix there for a potential podium finish. That'll be a really good ride there from him. Sean Peterson just behind them. Wayne Morgan up into sixth place. I know we had a couple of followers on our live Facebook feed. Cheering. He is out of this race, it looks like, so I'm hoping it's nothing too serious there for Augustine on the Lacquer Racing prepared Yamaha R1 machine, but on his return to racing, in fact, Augustine, so fortunately out of the race for Augustine. Johnny Cricker at the front end, looks like it's going to be 50 points on the day for Johnny Cricker. So let's see how that goes. Lawrence Bodenhorst is doing a good job here, actually. He's just maintained station there between himself and Johnny Cricker at the front end. Michael Barth is the rider that's now dropping into the clutches of Leon Pretorius. That's the two-rider battle that you're seeing on screen right now. So that's a good little battle going on there. Barth got the start that he wanted, but he's just starting to drop, and this is what happens the first time these riders have gone out now feeling the new track conditions for the first time, and a couple of them will be very wary. As soon as that rear wheel starts to slide a little bit more than you expect it to, that's when you just start clamping a little bit, and the rear end just starts chafing those undies a little bit more. That's what's happening here now. Michael Barth, there he is on the green Kawasaki, still holding off Leon Pretorius behind him. Pretorius closes on the brakes as they go into the final chicane. So Pretorius looking for that podium finish. This will be a brilliant ride from him if he can pick it up. Johnny Cricker, the screaming BMW, comes across the line. A 2:0.2, but fastest lap of the race so far goes to Lawrence Bodenhorst. 2:0.1 there from him. So he's closing down big time there. Michael Barth in third place, but he's coming under massive pressure now. Leon Pretorius, a 2:01.6 lap time there from him. So these riders getting the best out of the track conditions at the moment. Johnny Cricker no doubt will be getting the pit signals telling him that Lawrence Bodenhorst on that Suzuki is starting to close the gap. Michael Barth getting the same signals, I'm sure, about Leon Pretorius on his tail. So let's see what he can do there. Just behind them, Sean Peterson holding on to fifth place ahead of Wayne Morgan, Andre Venter, Bert Jonker and Paul Carstensen. Unfortunately, Augustine Mtwari out of this race. So try and find out what happened there to the Lacquer Racing stable rider. But this is a good little battle going on here now. Leon Pretorius has done all the hard work at closing down onto the back end of Michael Barth. Let's see if he can make it a move stick somehow. It's one thing closing that gap, it's another trying to make the pass happen. Let's see what he can do now. It's coming into the dog bone section. You can see that Lawrence Bodenhorst is still closing that gap ever so slightly on Johnny Cricker at the front end of this field. Pretorius now is really all over the back of Michael Barth, who's just trying to keep that Kawasaki on that final podium position there in third place. Coming out the dog bone section through the floss left-hander, going to go right onto the back straight any second now. There's still 6 laps remaining here, so still plenty of positions to be sorted out between these riders. Down the front straight, the back straight, you can see that is Cricker. Bodenhorst right on his tail. Michael Barth has put a couple of bike lengths between himself and Leon Pretorius now. So maybe a little mistake there from the BMW rider. But he closes it all back in coming into the final chicane. So really strong under the braking there is the BMW man. And they come across the line and complete another lap. Again, Johnny Cricker, 2:0.2, another fastest lap of the race from Lawrence Bodenhorst, a 1:59.8 there from him. So impressive stuff there. Michael Barth, 2:01.1, Leon Pretorius, 2:01.2, so nothing separating those two riders in that final battle for the final podium position. Sean Peterson holding down that fifth. Wayne Morgan, Andre Venter and Bert Jonker are almost glued together as they come across the line. So couple of really interesting little battles starting to form all the way down the track with 5 laps remaining of this 8-lap Masters race. Yeah, you can see Lawrence Bonhorse has just closed that gap down now on Johnny Cricker. That's Suzuki looking on rails, and he's closed that gap down effortlessly. Let's see now, BMW versus Suzuki Power as they go down that short little square. And making it stick is another, especially on Johnny Cricker around this Redstar track, a track that he knows so well and loves to ride around. There's a battle for third place. Michael Barth just putting a couple of bike lengths now between himself and Leon Pretorius. So Pretorius, that challenge that he was putting up is just starting to fade ever so slightly. And then it's quite a long wait before we see the likes of Sean Peterson, Wayne Morgan, Andre Venter and Bert Jonker. That's the dice that comes up after them. There it is, you can see that's Andre Venter just behind them. That's the very old school Yamaha R1 machine, the previous championship winning Northern Regions machine in the hands of Gary van der Berg. So that bike goes a long way back, but what Andre Venter has done with that machine has been absolutely brilliant, and he's made it a really competitive package. Andre Venter at 2.5 million years old riding around Redstar doing 206s is really, really impressive. So just shows you how dialed in that Yamaha machine is, and the work they've done on it really starting to pay dividends now. So our leading riders across the line then, 59.8 from Cricker, a 59.6 from Badenhorst. So Badenhorst is just using Johnny Cricker as that perfect toe, that perfect carrot around this track, and he's looking like he's able to line up a move now. Cricker a little bit wide there, and that's where the oil is, so you don't want to go too wide there because not ideal track conditions out there with the oil. It does play with your mind a little bit. You don't know if you can trust and go over those oil patches, but Badenhorst clearly loving the track conditions out there because he is just closing that gap in at will. And I don't know if he's going to try and potentially put a move early on here, or if he's going to wait now with 4 laps remaining, potentially to 2 laps to go, or maybe in a lap to go, trying to shove it on the inside and hold off the charge that'll come from Johnny Cricker, no doubt. Michael Barth still holding down the third place, and he pulled about another second over Leon Pretorius, so it looks like the local man Leon Pretorius, his charge to the podium is just faded off now, and potentially hold on to that 4th place. Sean Peterson just behind them in 5th, still ahead of Wayne Morgan. Andre Venter still can't quite get close enough. He's just at a 205.7, which is about 0.4 of a second faster than Wayne Morgan ahead of him, and Bert Jonker just behind them, and he's got a massive lead over Paul Carstensen. So there's a good little battle going on there between Wayne Morgan, Andre Venter, and they're just behind Sean Peterson. So a couple of good little battles going on through this field. This is the one though where all eyes are on at the moment. You can see Johnny Cricker already starting to go a little bit defensive, closing that line, just letting Lawrence Bonhorst know that if you're going to get close, I'm not going to give you any space. Although Johnny Cricker has pulled out 2 or 3 bike lengths on this lap, so stepping up that pace is the BMW rider. Let's see what he does as he comes across the line. A 59.3 from him. That's the fastest lap of the race so far. 59.6 from Lawrence Bonhorst there in 2nd place. 59.6 from Michael Barth in 3rd. So he said he was maybe struggling with the track conditions, but meanwhile he was just getting comfortable, and now he's put in his fastest lap of the race so far. So brilliant stuff with 3 laps to go from Michael Barth. I don't think he's got enough time and pace to close in on Bonhorst and Cricker at the front end of this field, but certainly he's cemented himself in that 3rd place now ahead of Leon Pretorius. Peterson, he's just come across the line now, holding down 5th. Then it's Wayne Morgan, and side by side, Andre Venter's actually made that move now. So Venter up into 6, Wayne Morgan, they were side by side as they came across the line, 0.2 of a second separating those 2 riders. So it's a really good battle. As you can see on screen now, that is the battle. That is Andre Venter that's made the move now ahead of Morgan. And Morgan looks like he's battling to maintain or hold the pace of the Foster rider just ahead of him. That is Andre Venter. So brilliant stuff this from Andre Venter. Valentino Rossi, who at 40-something years old. That's really impressive stuff there. Wayne Morgan doesn't look like he's going to let go though. Morgan, you don't want to be beaten by a 60-something-year-old man. You just don't. And here he's fighting back down the back straight. Extra power on that slightly more modern machine that he's on. So he closes in. So he's got to try and use that to the best of his advantage. He's got to try and just stay in touch and keep the toe there of Andre Venter. Coming into the final stage with 3 laps to go. There'll be 2 next time. Johnny Cricker comes across the line. So let's see, there is still that battle between Venter and Morgan. Looks like the battle out front. Johnny Cricker has maybe broken the resolve there coming from Lawrence Bonhorst. So it looks like, there he comes. That's Cricker across the line. Yeah, and he's put, what is it, 1.5 seconds now between himself and Lawrence Bonhorst. A 59.1 there from Johnny Cricker, a 59.8 from Lawrence Bonhorst, a 58.9 from Michael Barth, the 3rd place man. So I was harping on about potentially not enough time and pace, and he goes and puts in his fastest lap and the fastest lap of the race at a 58.9. That is incredible lap times in the Masters class. So again, a big pat on the back there to Michael Barth. Leon Pretorius at 203.7, so he certainly has dropped off the pace there and looks like he's just holding on to that 4th place and happy to settle for that 4th place finish, which will be very impressive for him. Andre Venter is the man in 6. Sean Peterson still holding down that 5th, and Wayne Morgan now coming into the final stages with 2 laps to go. Can Andre Venter hold off the charge coming from Wayne Morgan? Bert Jonker comes across the line on the 2nd of the World of Carbon BMW machines. But like I said, there's a new 2019 S1000RR M Sport model coming in the hands of Bert Jonker. So expect him to be a little bit more competitive when he climbs on that brand new gorgeous machine, and you can read all about it in the March issue of Ride Fast magazine. That is going to be our cover story feature, exclusively the first magazine and the first journalist to test the new BMW S1000RR in South African conditions. Yeah, so really looking forward to that test. Hopefully either next week or the week after, I'll be testing that machine along with Lance Isaac's national spec brand new BMW machine as well. So really looking forward to that. And judging by the lap times Lance was able to do first time out on that machine at Swartkorps at the official practice on Thursday, 2:01 lap times there on the Bridgestone tyres. So it just shows you what an amazing machine that is. Remember, National Superbike Racing tomorrow at Swartkorps Raceway. So look out for the likes of Lance Isaacs, Clint Seller, Sheridan Moraes, Byron Bester, Carrick Flock, who's here racing with us today. He'll be out at Swartkorps spinning some laps tomorrow as well, I think. Jared Schultz, the top Supersport 600 rider, he'll be there. He's here today with us, and he'll be there tomorrow. And of course, that's before he heads over for international duty in the Spanish Supersport class. So another one of our top youngsters going overseas to race there. And ASAP Racing, his personal sponsor, one of our sponsors here today for some of the racing categories. So big thank you to ASAP for supporting Monaco Racing and supporting a top talent like Jared Schultz in his local and international endeavors. Big thanks to other sponsors, of course, Dunlop, World of Motorcycles, and Ducati South Africa, Ride Fast magazine, for making this all happen. It really has been the perfect introduction, I should say, to the 2020 Monaco Motorcycle Racing Series. And remember, round number 2, 7th of March, down in Port Elizabeth. Again, if you're listening to this and you're out in the Windy City and you want to do some racing, it's 1,500 Rand to enter. That includes Friday practice and Saturday race day. And you can enter as many classes as you want for that 1.5. And Port Elizabeth is one of the best, or one of the better tracks in South Africa, I should say. An absolute phenomenal place to go ride a modern day superbike. So look out for that and make sure you head down there on the 7th of March. So if we can just have everyone's attention down in pit lane, we've got a Mini Cooper, I think, a mini car with license plate C296SP. Back to the live racing action, and it is checkered flag time, and Johnny Cricker just holds off the charge. My mom's asking me if I want an ice cream, and yes I do, thank you, that'll be great. Now, but coming to the line there, 59.9 on that final lap there from Lawrence Bonhorst, and a 2:08 from Cricker. So only 0.4 of a second as he came across the line. Michael Barth only 4 seconds back, and he'll be happy with setting the fastest lap of the race. Thanks, Mom, for my beautiful ice cream. Giving me her ice cream. That's what a mother does, eh? Jesus, Leon Pretorius, he's going to hold on to 4th place there. Sean Peterson, Andre Fenter, I keep saying AJ Fenter. Andre Fenter looks like he's going to hold off the charge there from Wayne Morgan, Bert Jonker and Paul Carstensen, rounding out your top 9 riders. Remember, out on track next will be our SA Classic TT F1 category, that of course is brought to you by Dunlop Motorcycle Tyres, followed by the F2 category and F3 combined, and then it's the final bit of racing action for the day in the 1000s and 600cc class. And then the final bit of track action will be our Historic Motorcycles and the Ducati Owners Club of South Africa for their 3rd and final track session of the day. So stick around for that. Going to take a short little break while we wait for our classic riders to come and form up on the grid. Until then, I really hope you have enjoyed all the live action that we've brought you on Facebook so far. Again, a big thank you to Raceday for setting this all up and exposing and bringing all the live action to you out in the land of Facebook. We hope to do it a lot more this year. I'm going to actually get some figures for you, and I'll throw them around. So if you are a sponsor potentially looking at sponsoring one of the classes in future races, let's let you know exactly what the costs are involved there. You'll be so surprised at what you actually get for the money that you spend in the Monaco series. So there's our Masters riders pulling in. Until our classic riders hit the track, I'll have a 2-minute break, eat my beautiful ice cream that my mom has just brought me, get some calcium in my body before I have to head out in race number 2 of the Superbikes.
I saw some of the timing not the same as yours. Right? You running the same tyres, or are you going out with fresh rubber for race 2?
No, we're going to stay with the same tyres. We just changed the spring. Hopefully it's just to get more preload on. Because it was just spinning so much. I don't know if the tyre was overheating or what exactly was going on, but I'm feeling confident for race 2.
100%.
100%, dude. We'll be shining for you. I see you've got a lot of guys that are backing you this season. Tell us about it.
I'd just like to say thanks to Chris Duplessis, my mechanic for this season. Really like to thank him. And my sponsors is Inga Works and Wilcom. Really like to thank them for backing me this season as well.
100%. Guys, keep your eyes out on this man for the second race and for what he can do for the rest of the season. But dude, all the best, good luck. And back to you guys in the studio at Raceday.tv.
Yeah, thanks for that, Clifford. Great catching up with one of our top young talents racing in the Superbike class, young Luca Bertolini. Just finished in front of me in the little bar. So I'm not a big fan of his right now. We'll see what happens in race 2. I've just been told that I'm going to be racing a different Ducati Panigale V4, the Jos Matthijssen replica Ducati Panigale V4 with headlights, number plate and everything on in the second heat of the Superbike. So that's going to be entertaining. It's always a pleasure riding any kind of Ducati machine. It's not many people get to do it, so I'm a very, very lucky man. Pity that our machine's got those problems, but no doubt that Zocchi and the team will get them sorted out, ready for the second round down in Port Elizabeth. Classics F1 riders are out of the day. It was all about AJ Fenter running away with it in card, and he'll be back up and trying to challenge for that podium. Ian Simpson, he dropped down the timing monitors as well in race number 1. Paul Jacobs, James Barson also had an up and down race. Leon van der Berg had a nice consistent race and got some really good points in the bag there. Timo Monnet, Howard Selby, Adrian McCarthy, Jonathan Powles, Etienne Lowe, Gordon Grigor, he also had a very exciting race. Started on the grass from the start after he had problems on his bike, and then he came surging through the field. Andre Fenter climbing straight off the Yamaha R1, I think it's a 2002 or 2003 version, onto a slightly more problems in race number 1. Robert Bird, Alan Duffus, Donny van Sant, Dudley Miller, Mike Albra, Roberto Janssen van Ringsburg, Mike Mexel, Dennis Kennedy and Kevin Steele, your 24 riders. Hoping that we're going to get all 24 riders lining up on the grid for the second and final heat in the F1 class as they make their way around onto the back straight. So we'll have them lining up on the grid any second now. As GVBD just gives us a thumbs up there, Graham from Radar, he's got some racing to do tomorrow at Swartkorps. Shame. That's all I can say, shame. I won't elaborate. Okay, so we've already got problems on the warm-up lap here, it looks like, in the Classic F1 category. One of the riders just running off track there. Let's hope it's nothing too serious. Try and catch up and see who that was, but for these classic bikes in these weather conditions, you know, being so hot out there, not like modern day bikes where it's got electronics and everything to help, so it could be overheating brakes, overheating bikes. So easy to happen on these classic machines. That's why we saw so many riders just falling by the wayside pretty much in race number 1. Let's hope that we have a little bit more finishes here in race number 2 and a little bit more of a challenge, certainly to AJ Fenter out front. There's bike number 82 already lined up on the grid. That is Timo Monnet, looking very stylish. There is your champion from last year. That is Paul Jacobs, the beautifully prepared Suzuki machine that he's on. So what he's basically doing is, you'll see he's just adjusting some few body parts there on the grid, because these leathers do tend to cramp some of your items, if I can call them that, and maybe Paul is very well endowed in that item department, so he's got, but it does get a little bit uncomfortable. And this is just pretty much just keeping your mind active on the grid. You try and find those little things just to keep your mind going. You don't want to just sit there and do nothing. So you adjust the gloves, you adjust the helmet like he's doing there, you play with your leathers, you pull the brake lever, you check the clutch, everything starts going through your mind now. So you're just trying to keep your mind as dialed in for the start of the race as possible. There's Yakuko, so he is back and out on track in second place there. AJ Fenter keeping everyone waiting as always, as he did in race number 1 of the Superbikes. There he comes. Thanks for joining us, AJ. Gary van der Berg right by his side as always. Ucho van der Berg. Nice HJC helmet there for AJ Fenter, another sponsored rider. So HJC and Autocycle Centre really do help support as many riders as possible. Just final tyre pressures check there for AJ Fenter as the rest of the field have lined up and are ready to go. James Barsom right alongside Paul Jacobs there, so watch out for him. He got a blind of a start in the first heat. Let's see if he can do it again. Jaco Gous, he was pushing really hard. Oh, a couple of riders getting jump starts there. A couple of riders going way too early. So there's going to be a few riders just getting slapped on the wrist there. All this coverage from the 2020 South African Classic TT is brought to you by Dunlop Motorcycle Tyres. So a couple of riders getting it wrong off the start of the line. AJ Venter, not one of those riders. He's right at front as he was in heat number 1. And I pretty much think we're going to see him just extending that. James Barson looks like he's in section. So he's just cruising around this track. No problems for AJ Venter, looking to make it 3 wins out of 3 races so far. Remember, he's still got the second and final Superbike heat coming up a bit later. Picked up the race 1 win, so let's see if he can make it 4 wins on the day. That'll be another good day, and more trophies added to the Venter cabinet, which I'm sure is getting pretty full at the Venter household. The battle for second place, I think, is going to be where we're going to have to watch. It looks like it is James Barson who's got up in there in second place. Jaco Gous, he got a terrible start. Ian Simpson holding down third place at the moment. Leon because it was a clean start. No one really took too much advantage, and nothing was really gained. Ian Simpson on the inside of Barson. Does he make it stick? Yes, he does. Brilliant move there from Simpson, the Scottish rider, and he's got himself now up into second place. Barson just closes the door, shuts the nose off of Jaco Gous. Paul Jacobs right on their tail, so it's a 4-way battle then for that podium finish. Simpson comes across the line. He's pulled a little bit of a gap now, so Barson doing everything he can to hold on to that third, but here comes Jaco Gous on the inside going into turn 1. Yes, he's made that move stick. So Jaco Gous made the mistake on the first lap in race number 1. He's got through lap number 1 now, getting comfortable and starting to make inroads on the back end of Simpson, holding down that second place. AJ Venter is out of here at the front end of this race. 203.2 from a standing start there on that classic machine. Impressive stuff once again there from AJ Venter. You can see Jaco Gous already starting to put the pressure on the back end of Simpson. Paul Jacobs doing the same on the back end of James Barson. Just splitting up that battle now. So we've got a 2-way battle for second and third, and a 2-way battle for fourth and fifth on track at the moment. Jaco Gous gets really good drive on the back straight there. He's in the slipstream. Can he line it up on the brakes? Jaco Gous is one of the late breakers in South African motorcycle racing, but just shows you in Scotland they also know how to brake, because gets the job done. Although runs a little bit wide, will that put Jaco Gous on the inside? Yes, it does. So Simpson just went in a little bit too deep, and that cost him the line. Jaco Gous was able to square it up, hold that inside line, and make that move stick. Paul Jacobs still battling to make the move ahead of James Barson, just ahead of him. That's the battle for fourth place. And while that happens, Paul Jacobs can just see the 2 riders ahead of him, Simpson and Jaco Gous, just extend that lead. So this will pretty much put an end to his chances of getting onto the podium in race number 2. He was on there in race number 1. Doesn't look like he's going to have enough here in race 2. He's putting it on the inside of Barson. He gets good drive. Barson just again chops the nose straight off of Paul Jacobs. So Barson just shows he doesn't quite have the pace, but he's not afraid to get those elbows out and close the door and take some front wheels while he does it. Jacobs down the back straight now, going on the brakes into the chicane. He's not going to be close enough there, so he's going to have to try and think somewhere else. This is the battle for fourth and fifth. That is James Barson on the red and white machine. Then it's Paul Jacobs on the blue and white machine. Jacobs gets good drive coming onto the front straight. Can he line up a move going on the inside? Can Jaco Gous line up a move? Looks like he has. So Gous has put the move then up into second place. AJ Venter, 2:02 lap time there from AJ. Jaco Gous, 2:01.4. 2:02.7 for Simpson, 2:05.1, 2:05 dead for Barson. So Venter has cleared off at the front end. You'll see a weird name at the top of the timing monitor here. It's not Lachlan McClure, it is AJ Venter that's out front. In second place, does look like it is Jaco Gous, just starting to pull a little bit of a gap over Ian Simpson, but Simpson will no doubt just push him all the way to the end James Barson, Paul Jacobs, they're still in that little battle for 4th and 5th place, but they've dropped right off now. You can see Jacobs still battling to make that move over James Barson. So he's going to have to try and think of some different kind of way that he can put that move on. So they go down that short little squirt straight. Looks like still unable to make the move. They're behind them. Leon van der Berg in 6th place. Howard Selby in 7th. Timo Monnet in 8th place. Adrian McCarthy in 9th. Gordon Grieger in 10th place there. Etienne Lowe, Alan Duffus, Eero Pienaar, Andre Venter. Good to see him circulating. He was forced out of race number 1 in the Classics with some kind of issue, but he's up into 14th ahead of Bruce Coburn, Jonathan Powles, Dani van Sant in 17th, and Robert Burns in 18th. Roberto Janssen van Rensburg in 19th. Dudley Miller in 20th. Mike Albright in 21st, and Kevin Steele in 22nd place as they stand with 4 laps to go. Onto the back straight, then you can see Paul Jacobs has managed to get ahead of James Barson now, and he's already pulled the gap there. So he was getting held up ever so slightly from James Barson. Barson and Jacobs, 2 big names from years gone by in northern regions. Oh, looks like there's a problem there. I think we need to maybe look at the rider in 5th place. Looks like there's oil or something coming out of that bike. So smoking, certainly. We don't want more oil put on this track, but certainly the bike of James Barson puffing out big gulps of smoke there. So let's hope it's nothing too serious. The last thing we need now is more oil on the circuit, that is for sure. He's come across the line, so he's still circulating, but the last thing we need is oil on that back tyre of James Barson. That is James Barson, that is him there. So let's just see if there is still smoke coming out of that bike. Saw big puffs as he came onto the front straight. Doesn't seem to be affecting him too much at the moment, but let's just hope nothing gets onto that. You can see the smoke pouring out of that bike on the right side. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with the bike of James Barson there. So let's hope the marshals can pick it up and maybe just tell the rider that there could potentially be a problem. Have a look on his boots and see if there's any oil spilling out anywhere, because don't want oil on this track, and we don't want oil on the back tire or anywhere on that motorcycle, potentially putting James Barson down in the Kittilita. Oh, another big puff of smoke coming out of James Barson's bike. Oh, there we go, James Barson there, he's off the track. So the problem is that bike has probably put oil down now, and please don't get back on track, James, please, please. And he gets back on track. So that's not smart riding in my view there from James Barson, because that bike is certainly pouring out oil, and now he's pouring it all over the Redstar circuit, which is nice. Still going around on the racing line is James Barson. Still going around on the racing line is James Barson. So James should really be using his head a little bit more than that. He had a big moment. That thing is puffing smoke out everywhere. So let's hope our COC will get hold of the man in 5th place there, James Barson, get a black flag and get that bike in, because certainly it is causing all kinds of problems there. That is the bike on screen here. So let's see. He's coming into the final chicane now, is James Barson. Let's see. Yeah, there's huge puffs of smoke there. We need to get that bike off this track, because we do not need a repeat of what happened earlier with more oil going down. So James has already run off track, but he's still circulating around and potentially putting a lot more oil on this track. So that is not a good sign. It's a good little battle going on further down there between Gordon Grieger, Adrian McCarthy, and Howard Selby. Timo Monnet just ahead of them, Leon van der Berg. James Barson still circulating though, but definitely problems on that machine. I just hope it hasn't dumped anything down on track. Eero Pienaar there still holding down 12th place. Etienne Lowe, looks like Lowe is starting to drop down now, so maybe some problems there for him. Andre Venter also dropping down, so potentially those same gremlins that he had in race number 1 starting to creep in again with the hot track conditions. It could be motors overheating, it could be brakes overheating, it really could be anything on these classic bikes getting pushed to the absolute limit and punished in these conditions. So again, let's hope it's nothing serious. One of the riders there, bike number 83, it looks like he's having a look around. That's Jonathan Powles, maybe just getting a little bit of cramp, needs to stretch those legs. That's what happens when you get a little bit older in life. Just the body starts clamping up a little bit, especially around Redstar Raceway track, where it's not easy when you are faced with 13 of the toughest corners in South African motorsport. The body does tend to fight back, and I think that's what's going on there. That is Timo Monnet in 7th place, so he's having a really good ride in his beautiful mass custom suit. A little bit further back there, Alan Duffus in 11th place as well. That is James Barson still circulating around this track. Oh, that's the dice for 10th and 11th actually. So that's a really good little battle going on there between Howard Selby and Alan Duffus on our timing monitor. Yeah, so that's brilliant. Evo Pienaar just behind them. So that's a really good little battle. Jonathan Pels, Bruce Cobbin, just not the same kind of pace to get themselves in that battle for the top 10. It's all about trying to get into that top 10. Of course, top 15 is the final point scoring position, but the top 10 is where you really do have bragging rights. All the bragging rights at the moment is going to AJ Fenter out front. Jaco Koos there in 2nd place, Ian Simpson in 3rd place. So our top 3 is just spread out, a 6-second gap. AJ Fenter's got at the front end of this field. Then it's another 4 seconds back from Jaco Koos to Simpson. Paul Jacobs has got a comfortable margin over James Barson, who's coming under a little bit of pressure now from Adrian McCarthy, Gordon Grigor as well. So Barson, lap time still 2:07, so still not terrible, but certainly on that ailing machine, I don't think he'll be able to charge any further up the field. I think he's just got to try and hold on to the position that he does now and get as many points as he possibly can heading into the 2nd round of this mini championship, we call it, the SATT Classic, which goes down to the East London Grand Prix circuit next weekend. So if you're down in East London, you want to watch some classic bikes race around the fastest circuit in the world, that'll be down next weekend at East London. Out front, it's still AJ Fenter just churning those lap times out. It's the final lap now, so he is just in cruise control all the way to the line. Jaco Koos still holding on 2nd place. Ian Simpson will be there in 3rd. Paul Jacobs off the podium there in 4th. So after this will be the classic F2 and F3 riders. So Clifford Ogle will come and take over from me as I get ready for my 2nd and final heat in the Superbike 1000cc class. And like I said, I'll be on that road-going Jos Matthijssen replica Ducati V4, so looking forward to that. As AJ Fenter has come across the line, 2nd place will be Jaco Koos. Ian Simpson will hold down that 3rd place, the Scotsman. Another podium finish there for him, and we'll wait for Paul Jacobs and James Barson to hold down 4th and 5th place. Doesn't seem like Barson's bike has put anything significant down on the track, because the rider's making it through unscathed, so that's a good sign. Of course, all this 2020 South African Classic TT action is proudly brought to you by Dunlop. You'll see all the Dunlop branding around here. Great having all those riders on the brand new Dunlop D213 tyres, and they've worked a real treat here today, especially on our Ducati V4 machine as well. They've had 3 battering races and they've held up to the task. So Dunlop D213, great grip, great longevity, and really a tyre if you are looking to get a bit more longevity out of your tyres, potentially 2 or 3 track days. Definitely a tyre you need to be looking at. But that brings an end then to our F1 Classic riders. It's the F2 and F3 combined up next. Clifford Ogle is here ready to jump in the hot seat. He'll take you through that race, my final race, and that'll conclude the day's racing action. So we hope you've enjoyed it. Stay tuned, like, share. Let's get this thing going. But for now, it's over to Mr. Clifford Ogle.
Right, so Raceday.tv fans, I'm Clifford Ogle back in the hot seat as Rob goes off to get ready for his 2nd heat in the 1000 Superbike class of the day, which will be the final race of the weekend. But before that, we've got the 2nd formula of the Classics, which is brought to you by Dunlop Tyres. But yeah, it's been some really good racing so far on track. I mean, if I look now over at my timing screen, these guys on the classic bikes in the first heat, or the Formula 1, they were doing 2:03s. That is insane. So yeah, well done to the guys. I see Jaco Koos managed to get his bike sorted after his first race crash, and he took a 2nd place. So very chuffed for Jaco Koos, because yeah, he's a serious racer. Not only races, or used to race ZX10 Cup, but also doing a phenomenal job out here in the classic bike. So yeah, very exciting. But we've got a whole list of superstars that are about to enter the track now. We've got Philip Atkinson, who will probably look to be doing the double. He really ran away with it in the first heat. There was a very, very tough battle on track in the mid-pack in the early stages, and I'm hoping now with the temperatures have dropped and the conditions have improved as for a rider, that we're going to see the guys come together and bang a few bars. I mean, you think that these guys are on old bikes, they're going to hold back and take it easy. That is not the case at all. So yeah, I'm looking here now, we've got 22 bikes that are going to come out on circuit any minute now and do absolute battle right down to the checkered flag. So yeah, it's exciting stuff, so stay tuned. Because yeah, we've got classics, and then we've got the 600cc and the 1000cc superbikes that will be up next, with our regular host, or Robert Portman, looking to break into the top 10 on his Ducati V4R. So we are back, and I've got the most handsome and gorgeous face in the biking business, and the birthday boy, don't forget that. Keith, you're joining me for some classics. Welcome.
I am joining you for classics this weekend. We are coming to you live from Redstar for the first round of Monocle, the round one, and we're about to see the final heat of the classics for today. It's a big field, it's a very competitive field, and it's been amazing racing so far. This is the best birthday gift I've ever had at the tender age of 35, with the first race weekend of the season. It's amazing.
It's been epic, Keith. But you know, the thing is with the classics, and this is something that we need to mention, is that, you know, this was originally supposed to be one heat with all the bikes combined, but because there were so many entries, and we've even got entries from overseas with the guys that have come out, but they've actually had to split it into two fields because there's just too many classic bikes on the track, which poses a bit of a safety issue, but just shows you how strong the following is all around the world in a classic series like this TT.
Absolutely. I mean, it's very impressive to see how many bikes are on the grid. You don't really see these bikes all that much, but when they're out there, you cannot help but just smell the two-stroke. It's fantastic. Some of these bikes are two-stroke 250s, and it's something to behold. I really am that guy that would buy a candle that smells like two-stroke.
You know, I'm not really a two-stroke fan, but I have so much respect for that power band that kicks in, that gives you a complete kick up the zoom box. So, so yeah, I mean, we chatted to the Flying Grammy. She's going to be doing a battle in this race.
First time out.
First time out. I mean, she said she was racing in the Samra Ladies Cup, but then with that falling away, now she decided she's going to come out, race classic bikes, climbed onto a 252 stroke, and doing the business. I mean, she's doing 241s around here, but I mean, she's a grandmother with 4 grandkids, and she's out here battling bars with some of the best of them.
See, I like to use that as an example because that just purely means anyone can race. You have no excuse. If you can have a bike, if you do have a bike, I don't think South African roads is really worth taking the risk anymore. So
Absolutely.
Rather bring your bike, put it on track. There's a lot of racing to be going down in South Africa this year. Get on, speak to a few people, do a track day or two, get your tires and go for it.
Even if you're not sure and you think, you know, I ride bike, but I'm not sure, I don't know about riding track days, my times are a bit off, I don't know if I can compete, because a lot of times, like when you mention to guys, come and do a track day, bring your bike out. It's a bit of a daunting thought. People think that everyone just goes on the track all at the same time and all pandemonium.
Sure, absolutely.
Well, that's absolutely not the case, and we've got so many good track day providers at the moment where they'll sort you into a specific group. So if you're a seasoned pro, fast like Rob Portman or his brother, they'll put you in A class. If you're an intermediate and you're learning your way around the track, B class, and the newbie guys, C, and the beginners, D. And even in the D classes, most track days offer like coaching where they teach you a few things about riding on the track, and then we've got some fantastic one-on-one training as well.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of people doing one-on-one training. I know I visited Redstar on Monday, and I spent time with Clinton Pienaar and his son Daniel and them. And they have a lovely workshop, you know, they come here, they bring the guys with some of their adventure bikes, all fully road bikes. They start teaching you the lines, body position, feet position, and it starts ticking, you know what I mean? Once you learn something, it's very hard to unlearn. with superbike racing. So I think the progression can go from very much in an entry level to like an intermediate amateur level, you know, fast. If you pay attention, you spend track time, it's all about seat time and just getting advice from different riders, you know. I think the fundamentals of it just kind of make you go faster. You don't try and go faster, but changing one or two things in a simple way, just the speed comes to you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, a couple of years back, they had the California Superbike School that came and did a lot of training in that, and that's sort of fallen away. But we've got Apana Ganapathy that's now doing the California Superbike School on his own capacity because he's a trained instructor. So, I mean, there's so many different variations of one-on-one training for whether you just want to be a safe road rider or a track rider. All these fundamentals will benefit your riding, make you a safer rider, smoother rider, just a better rider in general. So it's definitely worth a look. So even if we sit you now and we say come racing and you see on the cutting, please. Even if you want to just improve and just be a little bit safer, it's worth your while to check out some of these guys that are offering the training and that, because you know, if you have a moment or you get stuck in whatever, if you've got the skills, the chances are you're going to come out better off than if you didn't have the training. So yeah, I think in terms of one-on-one training, track days and stuff like that, it's definitely worth saying to check out. That's number 29. Just see that is that's Sora Potters, but how factory does that bike look? It looks like the old Alvaro Bautista MotoGP replica with the Go and Fun logos on the side. So even though it's an old classic bike, it looks amazing. But the guys are ready.
Here we go.
Green flags at the back. So the gents, red flag. It's now about to get serious. Listen to that horsepower climbing. And who's going to get the whole shot, Keith? Away they go.
Hey!
Dunlop tyres being pushed to the max on acceleration there off the grid. Look at those guys funneling through. It's really, really a sight to behold through the first few corners.
Here we go. You can just hear the two-stroke screaming down that from first to second corner.
Look at them falter through there. Really, we're seeing a bit of a gap up front, but look at how these guys are fighting there in the mid-pack, and that's what we want to see. Racing down the field and guys going bar to bar with each other.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's that kind of the day. You just want to keep seeing races and races. I think the heat's kind of subsided, so track conditions a bit better than a couple of hours ago, definitely. So definitely the endurance will be much better in this round than the previous heat.
Look, a lot of the guys are going to be running the same tyres that they ran in the first heat, but like you said, the heat has subsided a little bit, so it's probably going to work to the rider's advantage with the tyre temperature dropping down to probably a more optimal condition for racing. So there's a good chance we're going to see lap times go a little bit faster.
I'd like to see what the lap times are comparing. I think a lot of these bikes are actually much quicker than I'm on my CBR 600. And that just goes to say, you know, if you do a bit of training, you can make any bike go fast.
100%. But yeah, I mean, these guys have got their knees down. I mean, some of these tires they're such small and thin profiles.
They're narrow, aren't they?
It's bicycle tires. But look at the lean angle these guys are getting out of. And I mean, some of these guys are not going all out to get their elbows on the ground. Obviously, the bars seem to be a little bit higher.
Yeah.
But knees are down and the throttle is being twisted and they're wringing those bikes' necks.
Yeah, as you can see. So in the lead, we've got Philip Atkinson. Second, we've got number 90, Fergs Adam, and Ian Pickerton in number 3.
So I see we've got a flag waving at the back there. I'm just trying to work out, is it a yellow flag?
It does look like a yellow flag. Is it a green?
Have we got an issue? Yeah, my eyes are deceiving me here. But from what we can see so far on the timing sheets, no incidents now as we're about to close the first lap.
There's a move being made here right away, going into the chicane over there.
Is he going to hold it, Keith? That's the big question. Because normally there, you go in too deep, you make it very tight
He was
for yourself.
very close to the edge there. He pulled it back to the right.
You see the move that's been made there, Keith. He came in fast, but look how he's losing the drive on the straight. So there's a good chance that he's going to have to defend into the first corner. But great move nonetheless. It looks like he's made it stick. So lap 1 down. These guys are racing.
There's an incident out on track. He managed to survive. What bike number is that? Isn't that number?
Yeah, the bike is up. That is going onto the back straight. So maybe our eyes aren't deceiving us.
That was a good spot on the yellow flag.
The yellow flag was being worked to the max there, but rider's up and okay.
Good thing
Let's
to
hope
see
he
the
can
riders.
hope he can rejoin and still score some points.
So just for your reference to know, so we had the Superbikes guys doing the 1000s and 600s brought to you by ASOP World. They were doing in the 50s, and these guys on their bikes are doing 208s to 246s. So there's a big gap from 1 to bike 18.
Yeah, right across the spectrum, there's races happening all over the place. And another thing is, like I said earlier, like it doesn't matter where you finish on the track, as long as you're having a good dance. And as I said, that there's another move being made up now onto that tight little left-hander, and that was neat. Eh? It all depends now again, the drive. But I mean, it looks like he's disrupted a bit of rhythm there. So yeah, making the move stick, but also gaining a few bike lengths in the whole move. So very, very sweet move being made there. I need to just figure out who that rider is, because he is not wasting any time. He is hustling around that track.
I almost feel like that's our battle between 6, 7 and 8 position with Dave Nolan, Gary Edwards and Sorrel Pottas, 29, 59 and 20. It's close racing up there. You see, a dice is a dice. It really doesn't matter where you end up. I'd rather finish in 25th position and had a good dice with you and 5 other guys than finish first and no dicing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that, but it seems like the right thing to say.
Dicing is dicing, man. So
dicing is dicing.
We've got the guys now up the back straight, and I mean, it's not so clear cut yet. So there's still a bit of a change up happening for the leaders. We follow the leaders now over the line. Still looks like it's Philip Atkinson that's calmly holding station.
There's 2 very distinct packs. So bike number 1 to 5, rather 1 to 4 is running from 2.0 to 0.6 to 2:11, and then bike 5 to 11 is running from 2 minutes and 16 to 2 minutes 26.
And as you're saying that, Keith, I'm just watching the lap times now, and the lap times that are being banged in are just going faster and faster. So obviously now the tires are up to temperature. The guys are in the rhythm. They're feeling confident in that. Obviously no big mishaps yet on the track, and they're starting to push their bike. So this is the part of the race where it starts to get exciting, because guys are starting to find the limit and ride on that thin line.
It's a very interesting thing. Cliffy, I need to admit that there's some of these bikes that drop 2 to 3 seconds on that lap. So obviously there's a lot of dicing going on. There's a lot of position swapping going on.
We've also just... So we got the guys pushing through 3 and 4 here now. Also going through that infield section. This is where it comes down to racecraft. Here they go now. This is the dice for 3rd and 4th. Look at the guys maneuvering their bikes around this tight section. And this, I mean, if you've got your suspension dialed in, this is where you can really make up a lot of time on your opposition. It's not all about horsepower and that sort of thing. I mean, if you want horsepower, go drag racing.
Yeah.
You've got to find that sweet balance between horsepower, getting the bike to turn, and then getting the bike to behave on the brakes. And these guys have got it down to an art.
Number 71, Mike Skimmings, making that bike look like a modern bike. His body position and his smoothness is quite impressive. He's just gliding. It's like he's on tracks around the circuit at Redstar today.
Look, Mike Skimming is a pedigreed racer. So not only has he done battle on modern machinery, but he's done it on the classics as well. But it looks like it doesn't matter whatever he's racing. He's got that silky smooth style, which just translates through on whatever machinery he's on.
Speaking of which, we just got some news that man, number 71, Mike Skimming, has an actual jump start penalty. He's going to be penalized 30 seconds. I don't think he's aware of it, and if he is, he's going to be hauling, because he's going to be quite disappointed with that. Ending up in 3rd position or 4th position around the track. Oh.
Okay, so
I almost made a mistake, but luckily I didn't.
Spot on, but but yeah, we've been notified here by Race Control that we've got was a potential 3 bike jump start, which is probably all from the same row, because you know, one goes, everyone goes. So, but not the case. Mike Skimming, like you said, rightly so.
Oh, and our race
start.
Leader.
And then that's a big one, hey.
This is getting very interesting. I'm very sure they're unaware of it.
No, so they won't be aware. So you just sit back now and you just hope that these guys don't back off, don't think about going home in one piece on the trailer, that they push it to the limit. Because if I look now, we're 3 laps in and we've got a gap of 8.76 seconds. So, you know, if that 30-second penalty jumps in, he's going to be jumping outside the top 3.
You know, and it's not too many places to lose, considering. Just for everyone back home, a jump start penalty normally sits with 30 seconds. So if you actually launch before the lights go down and go off, you need to just keep going. I've learned that. I've had a massive jump start in the past, a few. My first podium ever, and I got a jump start. Luckily, I managed to overall squeeze in 0.6 seconds and take the win. But, you know.
So, yeah, I mean, like we said, 30 seconds, what does that mean?
Quarter of a lap.
Yeah, you're looking at, I mean, these guys are running 2 minutes. So these a lap, give or take. So you're looking at, yeah, quarter of a lap these guys are losing. So
That's
to
a lot
try
of
and make
turns,
up that
Cliffy.
time, yeah, in under a 10-lap race, you guys, you've really got to have your head down and your bum up and get going. But like you said, these guys won't be aware of that yet, so that's a huge problem. And you know, the thing is that if he like backs off or he takes it easy or whatever, he could easily jump out of the top 5. So we're just hoping that
He just keeps going
Atkinson
straight
keeps
to
it
the
going,
end.
yeah. But you know, as the race goes on and the tires start to wear down, we get into those closing stages, and then there's always those little gremlins that creep in, and you start to think, you know what, I think I've done enough. Just take it home in one piece, and yeah, that could be to his downfall. But we don't know what's going through his mind because he's out front doing the business, still clocking in those 208s. So and opening up the gap to 9.6. So he is opening every lap, but yeah,
And
we're
we're
just hoping
halfway
it's going to
through
be
the
enough.
race now. Halfway through the race. We've got a few people not finishing this rate. Mike Meckel, Gary Edwards, Steve Ingram, James Alexander, all DNFs for this one, unfortunately. But there is at least 18 bikes left on the grid,
Yeah.
on the track.
And I mean, one of those bikes is that lady rider we were talking about, Henry Oberholzer. And yeah, she's still doing a great job, running 246s. So, I mean, not quite running up in the front pace, but still doing a solid job nonetheless.
I think she should be very proud of herself and all of her people and team involved. That take her hands off for that lady. Well done.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, the thing is, people think also you just show up and the bikes are here and you
Yeah,
climb on them
it's
and
a
you ride.
lot
But
of work.
there's a lot of work that happens behind the scenes in terms of ferrying your bike around for tires and prep and suspension and paint work and all that stuff. So, you know, they probably maybe riding 1 week. One week out of 4 they're on the bike, but I can assure you those other 3, if they're not practicing, they are also getting the bike prepped and ready for race events like this at the Monaco Series.
Yeah, look, they are so widespread over this track. It's very hard to keep up and see who's leading, who's mid-pack, and who's following at this point. At this time, time's looking 2:08 for Philip Atkinson. As we said, he's got a jump start, 30-second penalty. Number 90, Fergs Adam, on a 2:09 going strong. He's the most consistent one out of them lap times. He
We're
keeps-
following now Jacques Duplessis that's about to cross the line. He's running on the 169 bike and he's down in 17th place. So yeah, I mean, he's probably about half a lap, give or take, behind the leader, maybe a little bit more, but still doing the business and going like the clappers on the main straight.
We just have our beautiful producer and other technical engineer, Henk, waving to us. Thanks, Raceday, guys. You guys are the best. Good racing out here today.
And great dice over the line there. So we just need to see who's in that battle, because that looks like it's a humdinger track there. But yeah, like Keith was saying, when Henk is on the prowl, you make sure you behave yourself behind camera. Otherwise, he'll take care of us later. But yeah, we're waiting to see now where is our leader. They've actually just come over the line. So we've got first, second, and third over the line. 5 laps in. So now we are in the closing stages. That gap has come down.
Yeah, and also lap times have come down. There's always obviously a bit of scrap there, or something happened there. I think they're dealing with back markers. Is that possible?
I think that is probably exactly what's happening. So I mean, if
they
you catch up
5 seconds.
Yeah, you catch a back marker in a combination hip and turn on this track, whatever, you can lose decades on your lap time. So it's always tough. I mean, you try and get through as quickly as you can, but you don't want to risk it either. So it's very difficult. But yeah, we're seeing there that Philip Atkinson dropped his lap times down to a 2:13.
Yeah. No, I mean, something happened there. I needed to ask you, on this time of day, Cliffy, there's some tracks, seeing that this is quite a flat track, there's no mountains or hills around, sun in the eyes become a factor, surely.
Terrible. You get that glisten, and sometimes you think, is there oil on the track? What am I missing? But it's difficult to pick up markers when you looking to get on the brakes, get on the throttle, do the whole business. Especially if you're also trying to overtake, it sort of messes up your perception of depth, and
Yeah.
it becomes difficult to make that overtake because they're there and then they're not, and then they're there again. So yeah, it is. Sun in the eyes is a very, very difficult obstacle to overcome.
There we go. Who's this? Bike number. Let's get 27 going in. There's something. Are they just
So
pushing?
that's Roland Alborough. So he's down in 16th place.
Who's he dicing with there at the moment? There, he's taken on the inside. Coming down the straight now, Roland and Jacques Duplessis.
I think it is, yeah. I mean, looking at the way he went past him, I'm thinking it's possible it could have been a back marker as well. I mean, I don't know how far we are through the field so far, because we've got guys that are a lap down, 2 laps down and that. So it's possible he picked up a back marker, because he went past him quite quickly and quite easily as well. So, you know, if you're battling with guys in similar, running similar brackets to you, that overtake is always a little bit more daunting than it is when you come up against a back marker. But we've done 6 laps. I mean, so
2
that's the
laps
guys.
remain. There we go. I just want to quickly check the times here. Bike 71, Mike skimming. I mean, he's doing really well. He's got a 13-second deficit down from Ferg's Adam, but both of them's got the time penalties.
Yeah, we're seeing now, unfortunately, this
Ferg's
is...
Adam doesn't have the time penalty.
So here we go. This is the heartbreak right now.
Philip
so
Atkinson
Philip
has.
Atkinson, the man that was leading the
penalty
race,
zone. Oh,
he's now
fantastic.
dropped down to 3rd. Keith and Mike McSkimming still finishing out the top 5, but that takes him out of that podium position. So Fergs McAdam, our race winner.
Well done. Congratulations to that. Well done on the classics, guys. What a wonderful class.
Yeah,
Thanks to Dunlop and the classic TT guys.
It also shows, Keith, you know, like even if you lose the toe from the guy in front, don't back off. If you give up, sometimes that 30-second penalty, I mean, now it's worked in his favor.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's all part of the rules and regulations and everything. But I mean, he could have backed off and thought, you know what, I'll take 2nd place. I'm not going to push. And now, because he's kept consistent lap times, kept in the 2-minute 10 bracket or whatever, taken the race win. And I mean, what a great way to finish off the day.
Wonderful stuff. Cliffy, I'm going to jump out of here again. I'll see you on the flip side. We're going to do our closing link later, and thanks for a wonderful day. For your first day as a presenter and commentator, I think you did fantastic.
Thanks, Keith.
I'd like to thank all the camera operators and our technical crew from Raceday.tv and our wonderful sponsor, Monocle, and with all of our other sponsors. You guys are the best. Thanks for watching, all the people at home. We'll do a few uploads and links on our Raceday page. Stay tuned, and thanks for the support. We'll see you guys coming live from the SPK Nationals tomorrow at Swartpops, including the Superbikes, Bridgestone, Superbikes and Challenge, and then also the big guys, the Kamikazes, the ZX10, Red Square ZX10 Cup. So yeah.
The old Kamikazes.
They're scared for nothing. So good racing still to come this weekend. We're only getting started.
Yeah, look, we've still got the 1000cc Superbikes coming up now, and the 600s. You're not sticking around for that, Keith?
I'm going to go run. I need to do some onboard stuff.
100%.
See you.
So
Bye.
Keith is out. So that's it, guys. Classics done and dusted. I think, I mean, we had a few guys with DNS, which means did not start at the beginning of the race, which is unfortunate. But we had only one incident in that race, and I mean, the rider got up and carried on. So, yeah, positive way to end the day for the classics and that. And I mean, I think majority, at least we've got about 30 to 40 bikes going home in one piece on the trailer. So that's very, very positive. But yeah, you can feel the tension building already. It's definitely been worth the wait after what we went through in race 1 with 1000cc Superbikes and 600cc. This is definitely going to be the race of the day. And what a way to close out a full day's action-packed racing. So yeah, I've just been notified now we've got an awesome track walk that we did earlier. So if you missed it, tune in now. They're going to take us through us again and show you what happened earlier on today.
Going down the start-finish straight, over the start line, entering turn 1. Going into turn 1, you've got to start wide to double apex, hitting the first apex, go a bit wide again, hit second apex, lift up the bike and get hard on the gas. Down the little straight, again hard on the brakes, second gear, hug the curb, come into the curb. As you pick up the bike, you give it a big squirt, going straight for the next curb at turn 3. Hug the curb, getting around the curb, and then pick up the gas and pick up the bike and get hard on the gas. Accelerate to turn 4, up to about the 50-meter mark. Again, hard on the brakes. Tip it in, second gear. As you go into the corner, you start off wide, go a bit tighter, and as you pick up, you get on the gas with a short shift, go wide. This is a patient corner, you've got to keep it wide until you hit the apex where the block is. Hit the block, then start getting on the gas, gradually picking up the bike. The short back straight is long enough to hit about 200 k's an hour. hard acceleration, and then coming into the next corner is a very, very sharp corner to the left. So you've got to hit the brakes hard. Second gear, tip in, use the width of the track, going wide, coming in, going wide again. Then you go into the next corner, hard on the gas, flat out. Then as you get to turn 7, you've got to keep it wide. This corner closes on you. As you go through the corner, you bring it in from outside, go tighter, tighter. As you get the curb, pick up straight for the next curb at turn 8. Hug the curb. As you through that curb, you go to the next one. This is the most patient corner, turn 9. As you exit the corner, you hit the apex on the other side of the corner, hard on the gas, going through turn 10, which is flat out, almost about 180 km an hour corner. As you get into turn 11, you just shift down, not much brakes you use there, also a fast corner. But the moment you see the marshal light, that's your cue to get on the gas. Then you've got 800 meters of stretch where you go flat out. You reach, top bikes reach up to 280 km an hour. Then when you get to the 150 mark, again, you've got to have big balls here. Brake very hard. As you come into turn 12, you've got to sacrifice turn 12 to make up for turn 13, where you can get on the gas hard again, coming out almost aiming for the pit wall, and then down over the start-finish line.
And there you have it, guys. I mean, what a great initiative. Not only is that insightful with learning a track, but good information. I mean, the guys here are showing you their way around the track, which sometimes gives you a bit of a different perspective. But speaking of perspective, we've got the Superbikes and 600s now out on the track. The pit lane is open, and everyone making their way gingerly around the track. See a few overtakes being made on the sighting lap, which is just a small measure of what's about to happen in a few minutes' time when all hell breaks loose when the flag drops. So yeah, we've got the dollies working hard on the pit grid. So yeah, it's in a few minutes now we're going to be racing, and I'm very, very excited to see if Alan John Fenter is going to sew up the double for today. So yeah, we saw epic racing. We also unfortunately saw the race come to an abrupt end with a red flag, but luckily with the great work of the marshals and the Redstar COC, it was only a few minutes and we were back up racing with 300 class. But there we go. There's AJ Fenter on that Suzuki GSX 1000. This guy means business. Look, he's done a lot of laps around here, but he is dynamite on that Suzuki. So yeah, we're waiting now. The guys getting ready to line up. I'm just curious to see now if the formula will be the same, because last race they sighting lap, they waited for the flag, and then they were racing after the second lap. So yeah, we see old Michael White on the grid as well. He's also a Superbike national champion on his R1 a few seasons ago, giving the guys a bit of info and helping the guys along drop the lap time. So good to see guys giving back, even though they're not racing, they're still here, they're supporting, they're getting involved. So yeah, absolutely fantastic to see previous champions, current champions all coming together, working together, making the sport better, making the guys faster. So yeah, great to see. We're getting a shot there of Ricardo Otto on that bright R6 Yamaha. It looks so factory up close, and Ricardo had an outstanding first race and was really going well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. I mean, Jared Schultz managed to pip him at the end there, but great result, second in the 600cc class. So yeah, the guys are now taking their place up on the grid. We've looking here, we've got so many fast guys, it's unbelievable. Connor Hagen there on that number 8, quite a brightly coloured motorcycle, so you won't be able to miss him. I mean, he's coming from a few rows back, but he also showed incredible racecraft during the race, and also doing a 2-minute flat lap time. So yeah, that's the hooter. So we're looking here, it should be a 10-lapper race. Guys are now scrambling off the grid. So yeah, it's about to get serious. Look at that front row. We're missing a few guys there. Obviously, Dylan Barnard, Garrick Flock not making the restart. And we're off. And just like that, all pandemonium breaks loose. There we go. Let's see who's out front now. And looks like these two are picking up right where race 1 left off. Morne Geldenhuys is just a man possessed. He's constantly looking to go around the outside. I mean, it worked for him in the first race, but he's definitely got that line in his pocket, and he's been using it to his advantage the whole weekend. And then tucking in behind him. Oh, Garrick Flock did make it back onto the track. Excuse me. Garrick Flock is there. And we're looking at we're looking at 8 laps here. So it's a little bit shorter, but I don't think it's going to take anything away from these guys. Look at those 3. You could throw a blanket over them and get all 3 of them. Just behind them, we've got a nice mid-pack battle there. Damien Perifacati back up to 4th. Jared Schultz making a great start. I mean, he suffered in the first race, but he's got that 600 dialed in and already up into the top 5. So maybe he can get a bit of a tow and come up to the guys and push. Sorry, again, mistaken as Morne Geldenhuys looks again around the outside. Can he make it stick? Oh, he's definitely got that R1 suspension dialed in. So yeah, sorry, I've just been on film now. We are looking at 10 laps. The 8-lap race was first heat, but these guys are going to go right down to the flag. Garrick Flock is looking racy, and like I said, this guy is a win it or bin it rider. So yeah, he's definitely up there to ruffle a few feathers. But at having a look onto that back straight, he's just we've got a rider off as well. That's a bit of a sad end. Yellow flag is out, so obviously no overtaking through that sector. As we saw earlier on those earlier images, there is a rider off track, but who is going to be the bravest up into the chicane here? Fenter carrying extra kilometers here. Flock having a look. That front wheel is lifting the back off the ground. Garrick Flock is here to race, guys, so keep an eye on him. I hope that the overtakes that are about to happen are going to be neat and clean, because I have a feeling these guys are going to bash a few bars. I'm also having a look here. Our resident commentator Rob Portman down in 12th, but he's definitely on the move. He's actually now up into 10th, so he's a man on the move. But this front 3 is so difficult to take your eyes off. Garrick Flock having a moment there as well. Whew. He's not yet to make friends. He's definitely pushing that rear tire to the limit. But we've got AJ Fenter just looking over his shoulder there, and I don't think he's going to be too happy to what he sees behind him. We've got Perifacati in a bit of a no man's land in 4th place, but you know, if the front 3 start having a go at each other, it's going to make the lap time suffer and bring him into contention. So keep an eye on Perifacati on that BMW. He's doing a great job. Here we've got a great battle that's Ricardo Otto in I think it's 6th place with Terry van der Merwe and Reiner Pretorius. Terry van der Merwe, I caught up with him earlier, and he was in the mix and looking great, and then his gear lever fell off. So a disappointing end to the race, but he was definitely fired up for the second heat. He wanted to redeem himself after such a disappointing finish. So yeah, the guys are pushing hard here, but Ricardo Otto is pushing that R6 to the limit. Terry van der Merwe is got his work cut out for him because Reiner Pretorius is all over him. Back up front, Garrick Flock now trying to go around the outside. Have we got a change up in the lead? I'm not too sure yet. We'll wait as we see them come onto the back straight. Who has got the lead on the back straight? I think we still AJ Fenter with Morne Geldenhuys, but watch Flock. He's looking up the inside, quite prepared to try and get the wheel up on the inside there, but no moves as of yet. But we're pushing here. We're only a few laps down. Oh, Flock again with a moment. That man is so wild. There we go. That's 3 over the line. And we've still got AJ Fenter, Morne Geldenhuys on the R1, and Garrick Flock on the R1. It's anyone's guess who is going to stand on the top step of this race. Will Morne Geldenhuys look around the outside? No. He's keeping it tight, trying to keep the drive into the inside. Watch the corner speed he carries through there. He's all over the rear wheel of AJ Fenter. AJ Fenter is going to have to push hard now. I'm sure he's got a plan that's going to come up later on in this lap time, because he looks like he's working on something. He's constantly getting closer and closer, working together to try and get as close as possible on the back of AJ Fenter's bike. Could it be on that long back straight? We've seen the R1s have got a little bit more on that back straight than what that GSXR has. But I mean, it all comes down to who's going to be bravest into the chicane and what the plan is. Now watch Flock on the back. He's looking hard on that sharp hairpin and looking at any opportunity to try and stick that wheel in. Again, watch Geldenhuys. That suspension for him is working absolutely phenomenally around this track. He is carrying the corner speed in the tight section and carrying the drive onto the back straight as well. So it's all for AJ Fenter to do here if he wants to fend these guys off and take the win. But AJ Fenter, as we know, seasoned racer. He's a fit guy. He works hard in the gym. He's definitely going to be strong as the race goes on. So it all depends on who wants it more at this stage of the race. So here we go. The guys are now coming up again on the back straight. AJ Fenter looks over his shoulder again. They're fanning out. Look at them fan out like that. Who is going to take the inside line in that corner? There we've got, is that Purificati? And there we've got Jared Schultz on the 600 with Ricardo Otto with his head down. He is pushing hard. What a great battle. This is Terry van der Merwe and Reno Pretorius. Davy on the inside. Great work there from Reno Pretorius on the brakes. He closed up so beautifully. Back on this, Flock has made a move. Flock is up into second. If AJ Fenter looks over his shoulder now, he is going to be clinching that seat just a little bit harder because Flock is here to win this race. Bit of a moment there from AJ as well. But Morne Geldenhuys maybe just letting Garrick Flock through, maybe just seeing where these guys are strong and weak. Hoping maybe Garrick Flock can ruffle a few feathers. Looking on the inside there, but Fenter is defending, he's closing the line, he's not letting anyone through. No, I'm wrong. I'm completely wrong, folks. There has been a complete shift up here. AJ Fenter is now sitting in third. I don't know how I missed that, but Morne Geldenhuys is now leading away from Flock. So something must have happened off that back straight there into the chicane. And now Flock is making a move. Look at Flock up the inside. He's pushing hard. Who's going to have the drive out the corner? He's running a little bit wide. Come on, Morne, get back at this boy. Let's get going here, boys. Now we are racing. Finally, second heat of the day, and these guys are going for the race win. Geldenhuys looking around the outside. He's pushing hard. Maybe AJ Fenter is just biding his time now, having a look at the R1s, seeing where he can make his move in the later stage of the race. But these guys are doing an amazing job on track, and not only they're doing a great job on track, the camera work here is phenomenal. They are keeping us in touch with all the action happening on track. Raceday TV, you guys are truly the greatest TV racing crew in the country. So here we go. Are we going to see a replay of the last lap? Who's now going to take the line up the inside? So there we go. It's now Flock who's got the lead. AJ Fenter looking up the inside. Geldenhuys has lost a bit there onto the back straight, but look how Garrick Flock defends through that line now. Will he pay a little bit of a price there on the drive out the corner? We're going to see at the end of the straight, but Flock is wild. Look how that rear end just steps out. 1, 2, 3 over the line. So it's Garrick Flock from Morne Geldenhuys and Alan John Fenter. These guys are running tenths of a second from each other. This is racing, guys. You guys need to get racing, or if not, come to the track and watch this action in the flesh. Here we go. Geldenhuys again running that different line. You see he just comes out side by side, and now watch as he works around the outside trying to cut the tighter line. Always looking for the drive. Will Garrick Flock defend this corner? AJ Fenter again just biding his time, having a look, maybe letting the guys do the hard work up front, or even conserving his tires. It all comes down to racecraft here. We are now 4 laps into this race. We are on the 5th lap, so we are at half race distance. Surely this action can't carry on over the full 10 laps of this race. Monocle Series, you guys have done a great job bringing these guys out to race today at Redstar. Morne Geldenhuys, you see, I think Garrick Flock's just doing it on the brakes there. Geldenhuys seemed like he had the drive, but then Flock just had something a little bit extra on the brakes there. He's probably the last of the late breakers on this circuit at the moment. And look at him, he is pushing. Geldenhuys, Fenter's, he's gained a little bit there as well on that GSXR. And these guys are pushing on the limit. We also look now, these guys are running lap times at 1:54. But I mean, if you look at, there's a bit of traffic, there's a bit of dicing. The guys are not running the premium line. They're looking for ways around each other. So lap times might suffer here, but we are racing, and that's what we want to see. These guys are pushing. Flock is defending. Geldenhuys is looking for a way around the outside yet again. These guys are trying to get up front at any given opportunity. It is absolutely outstanding. Look at the dust being kicked up there. Was that Fenter? I think he's definitely using all the track. I'm hoping these guys can grab us in the last corner there. It is. It's Flock defending, but what have we got now in the mix? I think AJ has pulled it off. I mean, we saw the dust kick up on that GSXR, but AJ has got it. No. Geldenhuys still holding on to second place. Whew, these guys are not holding back. So AJ Fenter has obviously decided now that it's time for these guys to pull the pin. I'm also getting word that we might have a few drops out on tracks. The clouds have been building. It has been a little bit humid. So this also plays now into a whole different race strategy. Are they going to call the race early because of the rain? Will it be stopped? And then normally when they stop a race, they take it back a lap. So now is the time to make the move, get out front and lead, because you don't want to leave it too long and then they call the race and everything can take it back a lap and you suffer with the result. So yeah, if there's drops coming through the circuit, also starts to play on your mind a little bit. You never know what is going to happen. Where is it going to be wetter than others? Is it raining around the whole circuit? So at the moment now, with a few drops coming through, The track surface is a little bit inconsistent, which makes it tricky. But Flock is not holding back. He is still up in the lead with Gildenace and AJ Fenter sitting in third. Again, Gildenace looking around the outside. He just carries a completely different line to Flock, which just shows you how they set their bikes up so differently. Both on Yamaha R1s, both completely different setups. Look at the line that you can see there. There's a completely different line as Gildenace comes back for a later apex, but looking at the drive. But I'm pretty sure Flock is going to defend through this corner the whole way. He's not willing to let it go onto that back straight. I think he pretty much knows that there might be a bit of deficit on horsepower, so he's making sure he kills the drive for the guys behind him. But we're going to see now as the guys come over the hill, because AJ Fenter was looking, and there he pops out again. They're fanning out 3 abreast. Oh, it's handlebars. Look at the handlebars go. Who's going to get it stopped in time? Is it AJ? Where did he come from? That is outstanding. This guy is crazy. Those are the biggest cojones I've ever seen around the Redstar Raceway. So over the line we see it is AJ Fenter, Mona Gildenace, Garrick Flock, the biggest loser there. He's been from first to third. So yeah, we definitely hoping that AJ doesn't pull the pin here, because these guys are absolutely going at it hammer and tongs. But what bar bashing that was on the back straight. So it looks like these guys are working on a plan, but it's all coming undone on that back straight. Garrick Flock is losing drive off the back there. No, Garrick, what is going on? It looks like Flock is out. I can't believe it. This guy has got the worst luck. Oh, Garrick, what is going on, bud? No, man. And that's Garrick Flock. I don't know if he's going to try and circulate. We've still got a whole 4 laps to go, but there's obviously a technical there. Oh, that is such heartbreak. He really put it all on the line, but it looks like it's just going to end in tears. So we're looking now just behind Flock. I mean, he's about to now come under pressure from Purificati, Jared Schultz, Ricardo Otto. So they're about to be promoted. That's Purificati. Again, back up into a potential podium position. BMW power all the way. I mean, he suffers on the starts, but he just comes so good at the end of the race. There we go. There's Jared Schultz, first 600 rider and future international rider. But yeah, he's now up. Yeah, leader in the 600. Jared Schultz is now the leader in the 600cc class, with Ricardo Otto not too far behind. But I mean, Jared Schultz now on a 600, also doing 156s, low 156s on a 600 machine. So that is unbelievable riding for machinery that is down on horsepower against the big thousands. So yeah, we wait now to see. There we go. That's Purificati on the BMW. Look how late he brings it into the track. He's done a lot of laps around here. Look how he focuses mainly on the drive, mainly trying to get that BMW out and out the corner as hard as he can. But we are now 7 laps down. But I'm dying to see, because the gap now between Fenter and Gildenace is just on a second now. So that's a bit of a shake-up. But Schultz doing an outstanding job. It's a bit of a lonely ride, but these are the most difficult ones. Is when you've got to concentrate and make sure you bring it home, run the lap time, hit your markers, get out the corners as fast as you can. And if you look at the man now, he's doing an outstanding job. And I mean, that R6 of his is on rails. So look at Jared Schultz. He is pushing it. And through this complex session, he keeps it all settled. There's no drifting, there's no sliding, none of that showmanship. He's just out there keeping it smooth, keeping it all in line, and doing an outstanding job. And we're seeing it in the lap times. So yeah, Jared Schultz doing the business. But back up front now, AJ Fenter, he's pulled a bit of a gap again. He has been playing this race to perfection. I think if we had Flock up there, it might have changed things up a little bit. But he sat behind, he studied the opposition, and then when the time was right, he made his move. But I mean, folks, how late did he leave it on those brakes? We've been saying the whole race weekend, you sacrifice the corner speed for the exit, and he came in there with at least 20 kilometers more than anyone else on that back straight. Looks over his shoulder. I think now it's all about race management. He's seen the gap. He knows Gildenace has maybe given up the charge a little bit and thought, second place is good enough. But yeah, AJ Fenter has run this race to perfection. Still 3 laps to go, so anything can happen. But look at him. He is smooth on that GSXR. He's making it work for him. And it's, it's good to see Suzuki back up front. It's been a while since we've seen GSXR power in the World Superbikes, Super Stocks, MotoGP. Obviously their factory operation is starting to get going, but AJ Fenter is flying the Suzuki South Africa flag here to perfection. I mean, you couldn't wish for a better ambassador in this series than AJ Fenter. And I mean, we chatted with him earlier. He's got plans again to do the Isle of Man. He's got plans to do the Macau. So yeah, keep eyes on this man. He is racing all over the world in so many different disciplines. He is definitely flying the SA flag, and a man to be proud of as an ambassador to the sport. If we look further down the line, Terry van der Merwe, he is hanging on, running 7th place under the 2-minute bracket, and giving Rob Portman a bit of a hiding there. Rob Portman is pushing, but we wait to see what the gap is now. Yeah, it's a bit of a gap. So Rob Portman is a bit of a lonely dice, but he's got Adrian van Dalen that's not giving up the ghost there. Actually, that gap is under a second, so that might be a dice to have a look at with Rob Portman on the Ducati in 8th place with Van Dalen and Chase Holscher, who's also doing quite an outstanding job just off the back of them. So there's a bit of a three-way dice that we haven't seen at the moment, and maybe neglected a little bit because we've been watching the action that's been outstanding up front. I'm watching the monitor now. Are there still drops happening out on the circuit, Keith? Do you know?
It's getting more. So I just came in from the outside. How hectic was the first 3 race? And then also that pack from Rob Portman, even Luca. He did really well to recover. He started catching them. He overtook Connor Hagen in front of him and started chasing the pack that is chasing Adrian and Robert.
Hold it, sorry to jump in there, Keith. I see the red flag is out.
It's
I think they've called it. I think
they had to.
CRC has stepped in and said, guys, the track surface is a little bit too inconsistent. So there we go. There's the red flag. The marshal's out, just telling the riders, take it easy. Race is done.
Cliffy, my heart was jumping out of my face down there. I was trackside on the pit wall. And those 3 leaders, it was insane.
A bit of a bob and weave there, Keith.
I didn't know what to do. The excitement was amazing. Look at that time. 1:53.123.
Yeah, so I think
that is an Alan Fenter win for the day.
Yeah, I think Alan John Fenter,
safe to say,
he hustled us a little bit there because he pulled the pin at the right moment.
All right, so the 1,000 winners as they stand: Alan John Fenter in first position, Mornay Geldenhuys in second, third number 88 Damien Perificati, and the 600 winners we have Jared Schultz, Ricardo Otto, and Reina Pretorius. What a race! What a day! That was fantastic.
You know, the 600s left nothing out on track. They top 7 because yeah, you look at that: Jared Schultz, Ricardo Otto, Reina Pretorius, all Terry van der Merwe, all in 600s. So absolutely outstanding job. It's been amazing racing. Heartbreak for some of the races here, like Garrick Flock, Dylan Barnard, whatever. But what a race it was, Keith.
That was fantastic. I think we need to congratulate every participant that was out on track here today at the first run of the Monocle Series. 2020 race season has officially got underway in South Africa. What a day of racing it was.
What a start, Keith. I mean, that race now is going to take me at least 3 hours to calm down from the adrenaline. I was just sitting in the box. Yeah, outstanding racing. Guys, if this is how the season starts off, I cannot wait to see how it's going to end. You guys need to stay tuned to the Monocle Series. Raceday TV doing an outstanding job here. But yeah, we are definitely racing in 2020, guys. So stay tuned. There's some exciting things coming up.
Yes. So before we go, quick rundown the overall standings. The bots: Sean Portman took the day, Alan Hulter second place, Thomas Brown in third, and then overall winners in the Superbike. That was Alan John Fenter.
Yeah, Alan John Fenter, I think clean sweep there, and then Morne Geldenhuys and Damien Perificati both. I mean, it's funny how it played out because Damien Perificati finished in third in both heats. But because of such an unfortunate situation in 2 heats for Garrick Flock. So Perificati, solid ride. I mean, a little bit fortunate, but I mean, if you don't push hard, you're not going to get the result. So Alan John Fenter, great ride.
It was like he left something in the tank for the last overtake he did there. He came down the back straight into the chicane down there. He just didn't brake. They looked like they were looking for parking. Anyway.
Big kahunas, Keith.
Listen, I want to say thank you to everyone out there for sponsoring Dunlop, ASAP World, Classic TT. We've had Monocle, obviously, ISAP. It was a good day overall.
Yeah, we
thank
got
you so much.
World of Motorcycles with Ducati.
South Africa, the bots. Yes, we want to say thanks to Rob Portman and Ride Fast Magazine, our media print partner. That was wonderful with the commentary today and racing. Well done.
Yeah,
You
and
reclaimed yourself in the second race.
And gift of the gab, Rob Portman up here in the studio doing a great job, not only for us here in the box at home and TV, but also the fans in the stands, which also big thanks to them for coming out and getting behind South African racing.
Absolutely. Also want to thank Dave Buckham for having this event and allowing us to be part of it. Cliffy, I want to thank you for everything. I think you were fantastic for your first day out in front of camera.
Thanks,
well done.
100%.
We'll do it again. And then definitely Fritz, Henk, Vander, the guys from True Race, the whole Raceday crew. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for everything. It was a wonderful success. We plan to do this more often. We'll be back in East London for the next round 2 of Monaco.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's down to the coast. I know a couple of guys are excited about that race. Yeah, that they're excited for the coastal rounds. Obviously, there's a few extra horsepower, but a lot of guys love the East London circuit and also the PE in Cape Town there. But yeah, these coastal races are going to be exciting ones to watch, Keith.
Absolutely. More racing happening at Swartkops tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Join us there tomorrow. See you guys later. We out.
Out. Side guns. Side guns. Side guns.